Okay, I know what you're thinking. I know that I said I'd release the video the day after, but truth to be told, I joined a new Discord server and I've been really lazy. I've literally just been talking to these people the past couple of days and been doing nothing but playing video games and just talking. So I've been getting a little lazy. So here's part 2 of The Legend of Bigfoot, ladies and gentlemen. I'm completely sorry about this. PortLock is a ghost town in the U.S. state of Alaska, located on the southern edge of the Kenai Peninsula, around 16 miles south of Seldovia. It is located in Port Chatham, after which an adjacent community takes its namesake. The village of PortLock was established when Captain Nathaniel Portlock of the Royal British Navy landed there in 1787. It was an unexplored, beautiful area filled with fish and plenty of space. Residents in the nearby villages also report that the area is haunted, including PortLock, of course. The site of the chromium mine is where PortLock was situated. PortLock began to be well known as one of the creepiest places in Alaska. Many are afraid to visit this area due to the unexplained circumstances that continue to happen in this small town. In 1905, it was reported that all the workers left their cannery jobs due to something mysterious that was, quote for quote, bothering them. The cannery workers returned the next season, but unexplained events were continually reported. There was an air of fear and mystery that began to pervade this small town. Hunters and gold miners who headed into the mountains started to disappear. In 1931, one man that was chopping wood was found murdered, seemingly by a single blow that seemed stronger than a human can manage. This alarmed the townspeople. One group hunting a moose reported finding giant footprints, also stalking the same animal. They arrived at the site of a bloody battle and no moose was found. Footprints were over 18 inches long, and they were headed from a spot into the foggy mountains. Occurrences like these began to show up regularly. One resident saw a huge, hairy man destroying fish wheels along the beach. He ran back to get his gun, and when he returned, the beach just stared at him and walked off. With these sightings, unease began to ramp up in the town. Bodies that were recovered, having washed down the rivers into the lagoon, had strange wounds no bear could make. The loss of these lives took a toll on the small community, and fear set in. People started to leave. With unexplained disappearances and murders, no one felt that they could take a chance and that they didn't really feel safe in living there. Residents took off en masse in 1949, leaving their houses. The nearby chromium mine, the cannery, the teacher cottage, and the large schoolhouse. They left them to be consumed by the wilderness. This PortLock is an abandoned town in Alaska, and one many people never wanted to return to. Only the postmaster remained after a year alone. The post office closed in 1950, and the last resident of PortLock left town. Even the postmaster couldn't continue on in his own town. This town experienced over 50 years of hauntings, murders, and disappearances before the townspeople gave in and left. In the local dialect of the local tribes that live there, the creature is called a Nantiloquat, half man, half beast. In the 1970s, fishermen forced to take refuge from a storm reported something strange that walked through their camp on 2 feet. It terrified them and they left as soon as possible. 70 years after the hauntings started, they were still continuing when people visited the area. The ghost town of PortLock, Alaska has a mysterious story. Whether or not this is a stronghold of Bigfoot in Alaska, you can decide for yourself. The disappearances and the bodies found were too horrible for anyone to continue living in the small town. The grassman, also known as the Ohio grassman, is a tall bipedal hominid that stalks the woods of Ohio, hence the name Ohio grassman. It is reportedly very similar to Bigfoot. It seems to be much more aggressive than any other Sasquatch species. The grassman gets its name from the small hut-like living structures or nests it builds out of tall grass. The first prominent sighting of the grassman occurred in the small village of Minerva, Ohio. In August of 1978, when the grandchildren of Minerva residents Evelyn and Hal Clayton, along with their friends, ran inside screaming about the hairy monster they saw in the gravel pit outside. When the couple went out to investigate, they saw what the crying children had described. It was covered in dark matted hair, sitting in the pit and fiddling with the discarded trash. It was estimated to be around 300 pounds. The Claytons fled, but this would not be their last encounter with the Ohio's grassman. The Claytons would see the grassman many times after their initial encounter. One night it was seen peering at them through their kitchen window. Hal ran for his gun, but the primate was gone before he returned. The area was later investigated by police, and although there was no sign of the hairy humanoid, several faint footprints were observed in the mud, and a terrible smell still lingered in the air. The Ohio grassman was later seen by the Claytons atop a hill near the strip mine at night. The next month in broad daylight as well. The couple observed two hairy bipeds on the same hill. It was only after these reports by the Claytons were made that there was a startling connection. Days before the gravel pit incident, the Claytons' German Shepherd was found dead, its neck broken, presumably killed by this hairy beast. But the Minerva case, along with its infamous Sasquatch, would form the most complex and important Bigfoot investigation in Ohio's history. Even so, in the year 1978 was not the first mention of such creatures roaming the Buckeye State. In the 1700s, Indians native to the Ohio grasslands spoke of a race of bipedal ape-men referred to as wild ones of the woods. The Native Americans would leave out food for these creatures in an effort to keep peace. Again in the late 1800s, sightings of a similar hairy biped were made by the Ohio River. The hominid had apparently tried to throw a man out of his carriage, but retreated when his daughter, riding as a passenger, threw several stones at it. It is unknown whether these are all grassman sightings or possible sightings of a similar kind of Bigfoot, and if somehow they're related to two or more of these said Bigfoot species. The skunk ape, or Miaka ape, is a bipedal humanoid, possibly a Bigfoot reported in the southeastern United States, but most notably in the Florida Everglades. It has black fur and glowing red eyes, unusual for most primates because most primates lack a layer of tissue behind the retina that reflects light. The skunk ape's most obvious character is its terrible odor, which gives it its name. The first ever sightings of the skunk ape were reported throughout the 1960s and 70s. In the autumn of 1974, many reports were filed in Dade County, Florida. 26 years later, in the autumn of 2000, the police of Sarasota County, Florida, received a letter from an anonymous woman. With the letter were two attached photographs of what the woman said was an escaped orangutan, who had been stealing apples from her back porch for 3 nights. These photos were later found to be taken near the Miaka River. After the images were released to the public, cryptid enthusiasts dubbed the creature in the photograph the Miaka skunk ape. Most sightings of the skunk ape, like Bigfoot sightings, can be dismissed as black bear sightings. A black bear can stand upright, making it appear like any other animal. Bears are also known to rummage the garbage bins, which would explain the smell associated with this creature. The United States National Park Service considers the skunk ape to be a hoax. But however, contrary to popular belief, many other people believe in it. Such as one man who released a video on October 28th of 2013. The video was titled, "I Think I Saw a Skunk Ape, Please Help." It was uploaded to YouTube. It depicts a large, hairy humanoid creature crouching in the water and pulling bark off a tree with ease. Perhaps there is something in the Everglades. With the many other invasive species in the Florida Everglades, such as the Burmese python, who knows what's out there in the vast wilderness of the Florida Everglades. Here's the video that was filmed in 2013. It is quite possibly one of the most convincing videos I've ever seen. Comedically, usually most Bigfoot videos are blurry and no audio, and usually turn off as something good is about to happen. However, this individual managed to catch a 2-minute video of this Bigfoot, what seemed like it was searching for food. And you need to understand that a normal human being couldn't rip through this tree. Only something as big as this creature would. Hey everybody, how are you doing today? So today will be the last video that I'll do on the Bigfoot. For now, there might be more convincing stories or videos in the future. My next series is actually going to be a pretty special one. It's going to be another one that's kind of Canadian/American. The Wendigo. So look forward to that video. I'm going to try to get the narration done today, and then get the editing done and hopefully get it out tomorrow. I'm gonna try to pump it out. I promise you, I will do my damnedest to get this video out tomorrow, including this one. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to the Melody family, welcome. It's great to have you. 5 subscribers away from 100, which is absolutely insane. And most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, like, comment, subscribe, and stay mellow.